the West Indies now probably have the best chance in quite a while to win a major trophy because of the way the landscape has gone from red ball cricket and the dynamics of the white ball game in the West Indies. How do you assess what is going to be, a good tournament in America and in the Caribbean, and also, obviously the finals at, the Kensington Oval? It's in Barbados. Do you think we'll see an England-West Indies final like we did England won there in 2010? So, are we hoping? Is the West Indies feel, the islands feel as though they've got great hope for a chance of success in this tournament?
I think we have a great team for this type of cricket, as you said, because of the experience that we built up over the years. Guys playing in the leagues around the world and so forth, and we seem to be coming together at the right time. So, but the thing about T20 cricket, it's so unpredictable. You got to win it on the day. So, as good as the team that you may have, England, they got a great team. Australia, the champions too as well. India, powerhouse always. So, it's a really exciting tournament, given the talent that you have around the world. So many guys playing in the leagues. I think you can feel the momentum building right now in the Caribbean, certainly in Barbados, hosting the finals and so forth, having done it in 2010. Great atmosphere. And
27, 2010, and now the third major final for us. This is our third. But we've been working to make sure that, it is maybe the greatest tournament ever. But we're looking beyond. We had a conference over the last week or so dealing with West Indies cricket, and we are looking back at trying to become the export capital for cricketers again. So there are a lot of things that were discussed, and quite a few things need to be done. But if our major hurdle is funding, we've only got 7 million people, say, over a space of 1,500 miles in terms of from Jamaica right away down to Guyana. And what if we were able to run a professional cricket setup within the region, it would mean that we can keep a lot more of our players together for a little bit longer and play a lot more games, and then start looking at exporting the fellas again, exporting cricket. But that is something that we have spoken about in the last 6 to 8 weeks in a serious way. Part of the legacy of the World Cup is that we hope that at the end of the World Cup, it just doesn't die like that, but we go into the schools, primary schools and secondary schools, and try to sell the cricket. I think that what has happened is that over the last 30 years, cricket had a bad run in which it was beaten over the head to the point where everybody gave it a bad name. It's still the sport of choice, and we still have a lot of youngsters playing the game. So the whole idea is to try to see how we can galvanize enough money to run a professional league within the region to start rebuilding. Everybody's saying that they want a strong West Indies team, but if you look at the profit share of the money from all of the major tournaments, maybe 4 teams get the majority, 60-70%, and all the other teams scramble for the other 30%. And I don't think that that's an ideal way if you want strong teams around. I think that there have to be some sort of parity in terms of what can happen. And I think that if you're talking about if you want strong cricket around the world and you're talking about developing the cricket, I think that is an area that you have to look at where you can sort of share the money equitably so that we can be able to spend the money we spend a fair amount of money from locally, but at the same time, we can only go so far. What it would take for us to get to the top would be a professional league.
Do you think that the richer nations should do more to support Test cricket in those countries who do struggle financially? Or
I think so. If you look at it, while we were playing, we went to Australia for 11 consecutive years to help them to build their stocks. If you go back and you come back to county cricket, when we played again, most of our players played county cricket because they wanted to make the game interesting and wanted to bring people through the gates. Okay, it is not an ideal world, but at the same time, and I say that if we helped you when you were struggling, why can't you do the same for us now and get us nearly back to where we were, if not back to where we were. And I think that there has to be there's got to be a different conversation going on in how the cricket is being managed at the top. And it can't be just, the rich nations take all. And if you go back to it, when we toured England, after one test match, our entire tour fee was paid after one test match. It taking you back to the 80s. And so I think we made some mistakes, yes, in the way how we negotiated tour fees and that sort of thing. And I think that, that ship has already sailed, but we have to look to find a way to make it much more equitable.
And I think with the World T20 final being in Barbados, is this the ideal way of showcasing what this part of the world needs more love and attention? We're going to see, two of the best teams of sort of power cricket, because when you're watching the IPL at this moment in time, seeing 250, 260, I mean, it's no place for a bowler like myself and you, Ian, but I tell you what, this World T20 is going to be, I think, an unbelievable tournament. And with the final being in Barbados, surely the ICC have got to, people around the world have got to look at it and think, these guys put on a great show, and why are we not going there more often? Because at this moment in time, there's not many test matches played in the Caribbean. Is that more towards the West Indies, or is that the ICC not, like you say, given the fairer share of the pie?
Well, I think we're looking for a long-term conversation. Yes, we understand the tournament that we're going to put on, a global event. We'll aim to be excellent, but we want to just say, well, let's embrace this tournament, but understand we can deliver more. Look at our history, look at what we've done as a cricketing nation, and let's have a stronger conversation of how we can sustain that excellence, that development that Joel is talking about. Look at our infrastructure and so forth. Let's ensure that we can develop our players similar to how it's being done in some of the richer nations. And I don't think this is just a conversation just the West Indies will be having. I mean, there are other cricketing nations as well who also are in a similar boat, and we want to make sure that it is equity and the game has its strength through strong competition. Sport is driven by strong competition, and you want to have as many strong teams as possible so that it gives value to the spectators. The spectators don't want to come and see a one-sided game, no matter what type of game it is. And I think we are at a point right now where we're saying, look, we understand what we need to do, but we just need the support.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.